that development appears to throw things over the fence and say, make it run. That just isn't tenable in a large-scale environment.
One of the things I often hear DevOps is that it's promoted as a way of helping enterprise organizations scale. For me, it's kind of like I totally get how DevOps helps a team be agile and deliver applications faster. The scaling thing I'm not as clear on. What's your perspective?
Well, that's so interesting because developers, their priority is their application, right? Or they're part of their application right now. Production has that on steroids because it's got dozens and dozens and maybe hundreds of applications that have to be supported. That's where scale is just huge. If you can make my environments more standard from an infrastructure, across all these different applications, that allows me to automate, and that also allows me to streamline a lot of the other administrative reporting and monitoring processes. So I can do a lot more with less, and I can do it faster.
So like one of the common complaints from developers is, hey, I need a particular VM for my application with particular setup and configuration, and it takes 2 weeks or 4 weeks even for me to get it from my ops team. So automation helps reduce that delivery time?
Oh, certainly. I mean, by, again, collaborating up front with dev and ops to decide, well, these are the standard configuration and development stacks, having those all defined, tested, ready to go, it actually means that developers don't have to worry so much about operational concerns. They don't have to worry that they're making good or bad choices because we've already defined what those choices are, and then they can, really on demand in a self-service environment order up those resources. From a user perspective or developer perspective, it should all be that common self-service environment with governance, approval life cycles, the audits and reporting, and all the things that, again, production people care about.
Right, that developers care so much about, too. Right. Yes, no.
Right, but production cares a lot
absolutely,
about that
and needs to. And ideally, in a DevOps environment, the development team starts learning about why those are important too, so that they can help facilitate meeting those kinds of audit requirements down the road. And one of the reasons, developers love containers is, again, it actually should help with standardizing that deployment environment, the configurations that you're talking about, because when I'm doing containerized apps, now I've got my system dependencies packaged up. What are the things you might like to see in the pipeline that help ensure that we're meeting the standards the ops team need, but still giving developers the freedom for the components that they need to use?
So a lot of it is more about making sure that production knows what those environments need to look like.
Okay.
I think it's creating environments that anticipate the needs of the workload rather than have to react to it. But I wanted to go back to what you were saying about containers, because I know that Red Hat, the OpenShift team, is working on that topic, obviously. I mean, what is it that you see Red Hat doing that's differentiating the way we support dev and ops?
We offer solutions and capabilities that support both the development team and the ops team, and we offer it in one package. We have an embedded CI/CD pipeline with the OpenShift product. Some of the features that certain of our enterprise customers are really excited about is something called source to image, where the developers really only need to use source code. The developers deal with what they know best, which is source code. The architects, they can control the runtime and the standardized elements. What are the underlying system components, system dependencies we're going to work with, what's the tooling, and then the ops team has control on the deployment side through all of the features that are built into OpenShift for managing container deployment and security around containers. How do we automate that infrastructure layer that OpenShift runs on top of?
We work a lot on those topics, particularly with the Ansible Automation Suite and Tower. So what's really great about the Ansible environment is it's primarily a human readable framework, incredibly active community, so there's integrations that work with OpenShift, VM environments, public cloud, private cloud, storage, you name it. And so what we're really excited about at Red Hat is that we're using Ansible technologies to help our customers automate on a consistent basis across all the different dimensions. So whether it's, again, container platforms, or whether it's storage, or whether it's network automation, or even security automation.
Absolutely.
And that's really exciting, again, in terms of just productivity and service levels and reliability.
Yeah, so DevOps does require some cultural change, so that Dev and Ops really need to work together to define the process in the pipeline. But bottom line, developers get to focus on what matters to them. Ops gets to focus on what's most important to them, and together, DevOps helps the enterprise scale.